you got a bunch of crypto shitcoin and you pawned it off to someone else. I destroyed this little bottle cap. Anybody want to buy it for $300,000? Well, you could sell it to the next guy for $350,000, and then that guy might sell it to someone else for $450,000, and then that guy's just going to be looking at this shit in his hand. I'm not with that shit. I'll sell you gold. I'll sell you diamond. I would do a fair markup for my business.
Okay, guys, got Trax NYC here today. Someone I've watched for years now, killing the social media game and the jewelry game. Thanks for coming on.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
You're rocking a lot right now, too.
Time to learn.
Time to learn from you.
Sure.
You've been in this jewelry space for a minute.
Yeah, 21 years. You know what I'm saying? 21 years I've been struggling with the people in the Diamond District and finally got to a place of some supremacy, you know, and a position of leadership in that industry, which I have to take to build a amazing life, man. It's just as simple as that.
I just saw your recent clip. You spent $400 million in the Diamond District.
Yeah. I mean, in the last year, I spent $42 million. So our annual sales are like $42 million, which is like $3.5 million per month.
Damn.
Right? It could be 3.6 plus holiday season or whatever. So $42 million annually for 21 years. Now, I had to scale it from low to high. So it averages out maybe, you know, somewhere in the range between 300 to 400, somewhere around there.
Impressive. And what's the breakdown with watches, gold, like necklaces?
That's a great question. Watches, gold, and whatever else. It's probably, you know, I did watches in the later end of the career, as far as high-end watches. In the lower end of it, it was a bunch of other bullshit brands. I don't know, man. 20% watches, probably 40% on gold, 60 or, you know, the rest, whatever is left over on diamonds and gemstones and something like that.
That makes sense. Gold's been going up a lot lately, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the scheme. That was the plan. You know what I'm saying? Gold used to be, when I started in the business, somewhere around, you know, $10 a gram, $14 a gram was a lot of money. Right, even less than like 10 carat, and now it's 10 times the price. I mean, it was $350 when I started. Now it's $3,500. So basically, if you bought a gold chain in 2004 and you overspent by double, you got ripped off, you're still gonna be able to scrap it for about 8 times the amount you paid for it.
Wow.
Okay,
that's nuts.
Yeah, so you bought a $500 chain for $1,000. You could scrap that chain right now for, you know, thousands, and that's really what it was, and that's how it used to be. I mean, the price is crazy because I'm even looking at my own pieces that I'm ordering coming out of the factory, and it's almost more expensive than gold. You know, a lot of rappers, sometimes I curse them out. And I insult them. But I do it out of love. You know, I grew up on hip hop, but I tell them that they're fucking retarded all the time because, you know, they're trying to do what's the trend, what's the this, what's the that, but they never understood what I'm trying to explain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now the trend is that the gold is worth more than the diamonds, man. If you want to really pop off, you know, like a 1 kilo Cuban used to be like 50 grand. Now it's like $120,000. It's more than some of the diamond ones. But you know, diamonds is where the money's at. But you gotta have gold. You know what I'm saying? You have you. I could only call you you know, retarded or whatever, or some derogatory term if you have money, but you fail to buy something that can still make you shine and then double your money over time. You know what I'm saying? Just because you think it's not cool or you're trying to look cool. To me, that's a little retarded. I don't know. I apologize if I hurt your feelings.
Nah, for the way you're describing it, it's almost like a no-brainer because you can wear and make money on it. So it's like a win-win because it opens up the door for you.
Yeah, it's not like a Bitcoin, which no one's ever seen or heard of in real reality. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure people have offered to pay you in Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I accept it, and I have no problem. You know, I wish all the Bitcoiners the best. And I wish them whatever it is. But you cannot go like this with a Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? You can't turn it into a vulture holding your company logo, okay?
So would you rather have gold or Bitcoin yourself?
I mean, me personally, I don't like the notion that I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I could be told something's going on. That's not really for me.
The Tri-Light from Therasage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the Tri-Light from Therasage and its next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared from 580 to 980 nanometers. Optimal penetration, enhanced energy, skin rejuvenation, pain relief, better performance, quicker recovery, and so much more. Therasage has been leading the game for over 25 years, and this panel is FDA listed and USB powered. Ultra soft and flexible and ultra portable. On-body red light therapy I use daily, and I take it everywhere I travel. This is the Thera O3 ozone module from Therasage. It's a portable ozone and negative ion therapy in one. It boosts oxygen, clears and sanitizes the air, and even helps your mood. It's a total game changer at home or on the go. This little device is the Thera O3 ozone module by Therasage, and it's one of my favorite wellness tools. In the sauna, it boosts ozone absorption through your skin up to 10 times, oxygenating your blood and supporting deep detox. Outside the sauna, it purifies the air, killing germs, bacteria, viruses, and mold, and it improves mood and sleep with negative ion therapy. It's compact, rechargeable, and perfect for travel, planes, offices, hotel rooms, you name it. It's like carrying clean energy wherever you go. This is the Thera H2 Go from Therasage, the only bottle with molecular hydrogen structured water and red light in one. It hydrates, energizes, and detoxes water upgraded. The Thera H2 Go from Therasage isn't just a water bottle, it's next level hydration. It infuses your water with molecular hydrogen, one of the most powerful antioxidants out there. That means less oxidative stress, more energy, and faster recovery. But here's what makes it stand out. It's the only bottle that also structures your water and adds red light to supercharge it. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
Okay. But Gold has one thing. Someone could put a gun to the side of your head and take a kilogram or know where your safe is at. Of course, you have your safe, and then you have your decoy safe, and then this, and then that, and then here, and then there. It's all a game, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so you could get robbed physically. Gold is a physical asset, and a couple of kilos will go a long way. So if you are in the range of, $500,000 of wealth, you could easily stash that in a small spot if you know what you're doing and how. When it comes to Bitcoin, it's where you have Bitcoin.
I just sold all mine. I kind of messed up. I sold it at 90K. It's 105K.
Oh, wow. Big deal. You took a tiny little 15% or whatever. Where did you sell it?
On Coinbase.
Coinbase. You know what I'm saying? So it's supposed to be decentralized, but yet you're centralized to Coinbase. I don't really understand it.
Coinbase is centralized. You have to report taxes on it.
Exactly. So you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. Coinbase, you wake up tomorrow, what happened with Coinbase, what happened with that Sam Bankman-Fried. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear none of that shit. I want to know my gold is right here. Here it is. And, the scrappers, and it's a very institutionalized thing. But that's for me. I'm not telling people that they're wrong, or arguing. Why won't you believe me? Why won't you believe? I don't give a shit. I wish gold was still cheap. I wish gold was the same 350 that it was. That's just not the way the game works, because I would have been able to have much more. But me personally, I like to have my money. I have, a little bit of stock. I sold that. I sold Tesla a little bit on the high end. I had Berkshire Hathaway. I might liquidate some of that. But I usually invest in my business when it comes to growing my shit. And, I've got $1 million or so in gold chains, and I really wish I had 20 million. But I'm in the gold chains business, so that's different. I buy this. It's like some people might say fuck Bitcoin and fuck gold, and they might have horses, but they're in the horse business. They have a ranch. They might be breeding horses. They might be selling Arabian horses or whatever to all sorts of places. So if you're in a business of that and you have a knowledge of it, you might switch your money to where it works for you. But for me, I never touched the Bitcoin. I'm not spending $100,000 on it. I'm not Binance or whoever these people are. it's for it to be $1 million or whatever. The market, what's the market cap of Bitcoin?
It's high. I don't know the exact number, but
it's like $1 trillion, a little
something like that.
Yeah, it's around $1 trillion last time I checked. So for people who don't understand, the market capitalization means what? The way you would define it.
How much is there available, right?
Yeah, how much money is in this pool? Okay, the market capitalization of Amazon is also like $1 trillion. So basically what that means is that if you had $1 trillion, you could buy all of Amazon, right? Or if you had $1 trillion, you could buy all of the Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Of course, if you did have $1 trillion and you would try to buy all the Bitcoin, you'd just be pooling that trillion into the market capitalization, thus making the market capitalization $2 trillion,
Yeah.
whatever it might be, because you're stuffing more money in there. But the problem with the Bitcoin is that the higher the price, the more difficult it is to move that needle. When the market capitalization was a penny and you put in another penny, the price doubled. Okay? And that's what really drove people in. They're like, yo, I just put in 10 cents and now the price is already, 11 cents for a Bitcoin. Wait a minute. I just bought in $10 and now the price moved much easier in the earlier stages. But now you need $1 trillion to move the needle and another $1 trillion to move the needle. And let's face it, you're not doing it because you want to keep your money safe, because you want to take a profit. I don't know, I don't understand it, but some people do, and a lot of people do, and they believe it, and they love it, and that's on them. I just hope they don't wake up broke one day.
Yeah, I mean, for you, it's probably good because you probably get a lot of crypto nerds trying to buy stuff off you.
God bless them. Yeah, they do, and I love the notion of it. And the crypto nerds can spend all the money that they want. I take their money, I cash it in, and I put it in my business where my money belongs. I don't sit there and wait for it to go up and wait for it to go up. XRP or this one or that one, Solana, Cardano. You know what I'm saying? You see these people chatting. You don't really know, or this one's that, or here's there. This is Ethereum, or this is this. It's everything you need to know is when you hear the Haktua coin. You know what I'm saying? If that's where your fucking currency is going to a Haktua, you know what I'm saying? Where some chick is spitting on someone's dick. You know what I'm saying? That's your money. I don't really know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you at that point.
If gold is going to keep going up and up, you think they're going to start making it in a lab like they're doing with diamonds?
Hey, listen, you know when this gold was made right here?
When?
When a star exploded. This gold was formed. Gold is only created when stars explode. So within nature, right? It takes extraordinary amounts of energy to make the metal. The metal is made by the universe itself to be rare. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's more rare, diamonds or wood?
Diamonds or wood? I would say diamonds.
You would be absolutely incorrect.
Really?
Because if you take across the universe, there's a lot of crystallized carbon, but there's not a lot of wood. The only place that we know of in the entire universe that has wood is planet Earth. Ain't no wood on Mars. There's no wood on the moon, right? So you have to understand how to value things, and you have to understand the rarity of it. Here, there's plenty of wood because it's been growing for 1 billion years, but that's not the case across the Milky Way galaxy or anywhere else as far as we know. And there's whole stars, and I'm guarantee you Mars has wood because carbon is nothing special. All right, carbon is abundant across the universe.
Yeah. Because
carbon is made when stars burn. Gold is made when stars explode. And wood is made through life, which is even the most rare. So it's a matter of perspective, as most things are, you know what I'm saying? So they're not going to make any gold in a lab. And if they did, the price of gold is $3,500 per ounce. And you need to, in order to take base metals and fuse them with enough energy, you need to set off a nuclear bomb. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the cost per ounce would be in the billions. It's like people say, Oz, an asteroid with mad gold on
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.
it. Yeah, how much do you think it's going to cost to fly, across the fucking solar system to jump on an asteroid and mine the gold off of it? It's not about how much there is. It's about how much it costs to get it. It's a game. Money's a game, man. It's a matter of perspective. You know, people watching this, you want to get the facts to learn how to secure your own livelihood. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You know, everybody watching this, has a situation in their life. Some of you might be in jail. Some of you might be heartbroken. Some of you might be, having the worst day of your life. Some of you might be having the best day of your life. Some of you might be, starting school. Some of you might be ending it. Everybody, though, has trying to figure out how to make their life comfortable, work, and take care of their family, their loved ones, and their friends. And if that's the course, you have to play the money game and absorb the information. It's not a game to play to say, I hate Bitcoin, or this is this, or this is that. It's to be understanding and considerate and get your hands on the money.
Do you feel like you've figured out the money game of life?
Well enough, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say some of the things that I'm doing or where I'm at until it's done. But I'm more in the works of buying something that's very, very nice. Okay. And, I have a staff of 60 people. I got a business that sells 42 million a month. I'm sorry, 42 million a year, 3.5 million, 3.6 million a month. And I take care of a staff. I take care of my family. And, it's a profitable business. I have inventory, a vast value. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more to go. But I also have freedom and control over my life. And that's what I worked for 21 years. You know what I'm saying? To get on an airplane, come to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Don't have to worry about how much anything costs. Not worried about how much the flight is or how I could save $1 here, $1 there. Just get me a flight. Whatever, Delta Sky Priority, get me a nice hotel and let me come down. Let me see this. It's freedom and it's great. It's everything I ever dreamed of when I was a fucking immigrant from Azerbaijan with nothing.
Yeah. And you were not only nothing, you were in debt. A lot of money, right?
At some point in time in business, yes. Yeah. When I had nothing, right? When I graduated high school and I had $20, that was nothing. When I was in debt, $1 million or so, right? I still had cash flow. So I could go to the restaurant and take out more debt and, go pay this guy. And then, this I owe in 30 days. So I'll just pay that and in 30 and I'll just pay here. And then that's the next one. And I had the cash flow and I was able to wriggle through. But at the same time, there was over my head vast amounts of debt that I had to manage and then finally shrink down and then turn into, what do you call it? So I lived, other than the terror, you would never know that I was in debt. Other than the terror I experienced that I'm not going to be able to make the next move and wriggle free. But that taught me a valuable lesson in and of itself.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. When did you finally achieve that freedom, you feel? How many years in the business?
I was very successful in the first couple of years. And then I ran into some trouble with some of the people in my life or whatever. And the credit card fraud that hit me and shit like that. And those were it was a decade of trouble.
Damn, a decade.
A decade, my friend.
Jeez.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? It was a decade of trouble because once you start dealing with it, you have to be really, really strong to get out, right? If your business is in trouble, you know what it's like? It's like you're fucking playing football and you're up 2 touchdowns and you're feeling comfortable. And then somehow you fumble it and, 2-3 times. And now you're down by 3 or 4 touchdowns. And then you have a quarter left or whatever, and you have to fight back. You got to really know what the hell you're doing to get out of that situation.
You got to move calculated.
Yeah, you have to really, really you have to have God on your side, really. Forget about calculated. There's not much you could calculate. There's really even nothing to calculate in the whole universe. In all reality of it, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have God on your side, I don't really know what to tell. I don't know how to maneuver through that. Through what I went through, without God, I don't know if it's such a good idea.
Damn. You really believe God played a huge role in your life?
I don't know. But I have faith in that. I can't definitively say one thing or another, but when I look back at it, why would I be able to survive debt or survive anything and someone just gets hit by a car crossing the street? I don't really have answers for you. But when I was finished and didn't have any money and I really couldn't, play the game any further, and then somebody walked through the door and they wrote a check they picked jewelry like this, and this. And this is like in 2009 when I was like in trouble. That's 2009. That's a long time ago. All right. 16, whatever, many years ago.
That was the recession, right?
Yeah. I was in trouble. I was just a kid. I was like 20 something years old. And I ran out of capital completely and I couldn't make any more moves. It was checkmate. Okay. Checkmate.
Mm-hmm.
And guy walks through the door and he's like, oh, I want this item, this item, this item, this item. It's like the most expensive items. Like, the fuck's this guy? And he writes a check, 150 grand.
Damn.
Which is back then like 300. I'm like, look at this. This guy's fucking fraud. Walks out the door. Look him up. He hit the lottery. A fucking lottery winner walked through the door, bro. Well, lottery winner walked through the door to save me at the last second. And shit like that happened 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
To make me survive. The last one was this rich Asian girl that, I was finished again. And I didn't have the capital and I just needed another little bit to get through this shit so I could flip this capital and make it roll over to get out of this situation. But again, I was checkmated. Then I met this girl that was rich and she gave me some money. You know what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't happen every day. Now, stories like that, a lottery winner, a girl that gives you, she gave me 150 grand and
just
she got
a loan or just
a loan. Yeah. She gave me 150 grand and she got her friend to give me 100 grand too.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I paid them all back and I gave her interest and I took care of her and I bought her nice things when I made my money and shit. But it was a miracle. It's a miracle to me. So I can't sit here and say anything but that. Like, if you don't have God on your side, I don't really know. I really don't know.
You've had a lot of ups and downs, man.
I had a lot of drama pulling it together, but you know what? I did it to myself and I wanted to get it out of the way so the rest of my life could be stable and happy. You know what I'm saying? I felt the hardships of it all and I'm fucking done with it. You know what I'm saying? And now I have to, have wisdom to preserve, stability and help the people watching that want to make sure that their lives don't go through that type of drama. That's my real goal. I'd love to go through all that bullshit so you don't have to, and teach you guys and communicate the information that will give you the wisdom necessary to avoid your misery.
You give back more than any jeweler I've ever seen also.
Yeah.
I always wondered why you started doing that.
Yeah. Well, listen, like I say, you're not going to have God on your side if he's not going to be standing there over your shoulder if you're just some selfish piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not the way it works, you have to have faith and that faith has to come in your spirit and what you're doing in this world, because the way the universe works, we experience time in the digital social hour. We're experiencing time, but experiencing time is like reading a book. Okay? The book's already written. You're just reading this page. You don't know what's happened and you have no idea how it's all going to play out, but it's all already written and the book is already over and the author knows what happened and that's that.
So you believe it's predetermined?
I don't know if it's predetermined, but I know that it all happened already. Okay? I'm just experiencing it now. Okay? And, that experience of time is it's a complicated subject, so to speak, but what you need to focus on is not all the nonsense. What you need to focus on is having the positive energy in the world, because you might be thinking you're going to get away with this and get away with that. Everything is done. Everything is known. In the end and in the beginning. Okay, everything is known. So you got to just make sure you're right with all that, because that's what's looking at you. You know, we don't know the choices we're going to make, and we have not made them yet through our eyes, but they have already been made through the eyes of the world and the universe. And it positions us based on where we will be, which is kind of a paradox, but that's just the way it works. It's kind of like, those little molecules. What are those little, not molecules, atoms and electrons or whatever. The smallest particles, they have no determinate state unless you measure them. Right? They're everywhere until you check where they are. They're a wave, and then when you look at them, they're a particle. So it kind of determines it's a paradox, but that's just the way nature works. Yeah. Nature does not work for you to figure it out and do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Nature's working in a way to play with you.
Yeah. You got a spiritual side to you, man. I didn't expect this.
Yeah. Well, here it is.
I just see you as a cutthroat businessman in the Diamond District, because it's known for being super cutthroat out there.
Yeah. You know what the best way to cut their throat is? With God.
I love it, man. Yeah, I didn't expect this out of you, though. I'm surprised, man.
Yeah, listen, that's all, the reason why I even started my business was like, I just want to understand the world. I said, if I could honestly do business, well, is that enough to make it? Yes or no? I got to find out. And the answer is yes.
Really?
Yeah. The answer is yes, bro. Again, you know what I'm saying? You have to have respect for this world. What is God? What are you trying to do? You have to have respect for this world, man. You can't come into this world and try to take from it everything, use it, fuck it, toss it. And you get what you want because it feels good. Just because, how much blood has been spilled just because one person wanted to release some dopamine inside their brain. If that's who you are, that's who you are, man. You're measuring the world is measuring you, and there's no way around it, bro.
Yeah, I believe in that too. I believe in money can be made ethically or non-ethically.
Absolutely. It can be made ethically or non-ethically. But, the best way to do it and the surest way to make money is to do it the ethical way. It's like what's the number one guaranteed way to be able to have apples? It's to plant your own apple tree. Right? So to speak. Okay? Yeah, you could, obviously you buying them is more practical in the sense that it is. But the real way is if you're planting, you're taking care of them, and then years later they're bearing fruit and you have that. That's a guaranteed way to have apples.
Facts. Everyone I know that's made money unethically, whether it was scamming, robbing, or whatever, they've lost it, man.
Yeah, they lost it because it fucks with their head. It fucks with their programming. You'll always make that mistake at that final hour or whatever it is, whatever it might be in your life, like that right at that right moment, the devil puts his foot out and makes you trip. Whatever it is that you're hiding or not hiding, whatever you think that you're doing, nothing is hidden. Something comes for you at that time. It's like even like Will Smith, the most storied career you could possibly imagine. Good-looking guy, dances, can sing, can fucking do movies. It's just everything. The best movies, the fun. Will Smith walking through the door. You're like, wow. And now at the apex of his career, when he's about to get an Oscar for the best actor for one of the many films that he did where he's putting on an amazing performance. Someone says, G.I. Jane 2. And he comes out there and slaps another black man across the face in front of the world, sits down and screams at him, keeps my wife's name out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Was manipulated at that moment by his wife that kind of like went some way and this and that. It's just, and just to put a disgusting blemish on that, And I'm not saying that Will Smith is a sinner and he deserved it here and there, but something was spiritually missing for him to trip like that and for him to take such a blessing and turn it into, you're not going to be remembered for everything. You're going to be remembered for something like this. All right. Or that's going to be the defining kind of thing. Oh, yeah. It's the first thing that pops into your head. Right. Like, you could say a name like Monica Lewinsky. What's the first thing that pops into your head?
We know.
Yeah. Sucking dick in the Oval Office. She could have been a great mom. She could have rescued somebody. She could have helped give birth, in the back of a taxi cab in traffic. Doesn't matter. You're only going to know and be known for that for the rest of your life. If your name is going to be, it's going to say on that, your tombstone, Monica Lewinsky, someone's going to go, oh, that's the chick. And that's not what you want. And again, what are we talking about? We're talking about people that gave up their money or they made money illicitly. You could be very sneaky and you could hide your shit, but something might always come for you. A game might always be played and something might be this and something might be that. You want your money. Now, Jeff Bezos didn't scheme for no money. Jeff Bezos made all that money and he's going to fucking die with it and no one's going to play with him ever, as far as I could tell, because you got your Amazon packages and he got his money. So you can't blame him for shit. He's going to do what he's going to do and he's going to have what he's going to have. You know what I'm saying? But if you played a dirty little game or you got a bunch of crypto shitcoin and you pawned it off to someone else, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Say I destroyed this little bottle cap. Anybody want to buy it for $300,000? You know what I'm saying? Well, you could sell it to the next guy for $350, and then that guy might sell it to someone else for $450, and then that guy is just going to be looking at this shit in his hand. I'm not with that shit. I'll sell you gold. I'll sell you diamonds. I'll make a markup, 30, 40% or whatever it might be. I'll do a fair markup for my business, and we'll keep it fucking moving.
You're providing a win-win. Your clients, if they hold that piece over time, you said it goes up,
Yeah, well, listen, even if it doesn't go up, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit you buy doesn't go up. You buy a hoodie from Chrome Hearts and you wear it, and it's a fucking $2,000 hoodie, and you wear it to look cool to impress a bunch of jerk-offs. Then you wear it 2-3 times. It didn't really go up. It went to shit. So, and I'm not any worse than them. All right. And I'm selling you gold. I'm selling you diamonds. I could sell you a luxury product, and that's that. Now it'll go up. Gold will go up eventually, but it just went up. I haven't been telling you this because it was, high price. The fucking price was, when I started making gold videos, the price was $12.50. You tripled your money. That's it. I got you here. Now it's going to be, it could be with Trump, the tariffs or whatever. It could be 10 years or the economy collapse tomorrow. It could be more. I don't really know. But the easy part of the come up, I took you along for the ride. If you bought a gold chain, you're fucking up. That's it. It's good business. And that's what my brand stands behind. And there's not a lot of brands that are going to do it for you at all. Not even 1% of what the fuck I'm doing.
When lab-grown diamonds started coming in the scene, did that mess up your business for a bit?
Not really. I mean, it drove the prices of diamonds down. So, you could now buy more. Or you could buy lab. I'll sell you a lab if you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like lab diamonds.
You like them?
Well, I mean, this ring right here is upside down Asher cuts. You could take a look at it. It's all lab. Yeah.
This looks like real.
Well, the diamonds are diamonds, lab or not, it doesn't matter. Listen, this table has enough wood to make a lot of diamonds.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what? You look like a smart guy, my friend.
I don't know how diamonds are made. I'm not going to lie.
Well, do you know what carbon is?
Yeah.
Okay. Carbon is a molecule that under a lot of pressure crystallizes in a very hard shape, because carbon has, like 6 connectors. So when you push it against one another, it's like a hexagon connectors. So it's like connected in every single way. That's why light passes through. And it's just like the toughest shape that you could make, possibly in nature. All right? Unless you intertwine the hexagons even more. A 3-dimensional hexagon, I don't even know what the hell that's called. So that is a tough shape. And there's a way to do that. Under extraordinary heat and pressure, like it happens underneath the earth, you put this table underneath the earth and extraordinary heat and pressure, the carbon in this table, which is, the same carbon dioxide or whatever, is going to crystallize into a diamond. It might come out looking like shit. It might come out looking like VS. It might come out looking like VVS. It might take 1 billion years to get to the surface. It might take 1 million years to get to the surface. It might never get to the surface, right? Heat and pressure underground, you'll get that, and you get different varying qualities. Or you could go in a lab and you could take a diamond, a natural diamond, and put it in a lab, and you could superheat the gas around it, the carbon gas around it, and the little carbon molecules will stick to the actual natural diamond and they'll grow, okay? Because they're just superheated and they just connect some way, somehow, and they'll grow. So you could have a natural diamond and then grow it larger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a diamond. You know what I'm saying? A diamond is a diamond, and that's it. Now, I could have made this ring in natural. This ring right here isn't a cheap ring. This ring is like $8,000.
Damn.
Okay? In lab. In natural, this ring would be $35,000, $40,000 because these Asher cuts by themselves are like, in natural, $2,000 a carat.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? And they're upside down. I set them upside down. You don't set Asher cuts upside down when they're that expensive. You just don't.
Yeah.
So it's another game. So the lab can do whatever it can do. I love natural diamonds, but there's things you can do with lab diamonds that you will never do in natural.
You went to an actual diamond mine, right? I think I saw a video of that.
Yeah, I went to an artisanal diamond mine. I want to go to an actual diamond mine in Sierra Leone. In Botswana, so we're going to see about that because the jewelry show going to come here in Las Vegas, and a lot of people from the African nations are going to come over here, and they're dealing with the diamond industry. And for Botswana and a couple other places, diamonds are everything. They build schools, they build hospitals, they build everything because their money's coming in from that. But they're struggling now because of all this shit. And De Beers is a fucking half-retarded company as far as I could tell.
Is that the biggest one in the diamond space?
They regulate. They have supremacy over it. They're trying to become a public company. Listen, someone milked the money out of that. They're hiring this and that. I don't really know what's going on, but I saw artisanal diamond mining in Sierra Leone.
What's artisanal mean?
I mean, it means that it's a small operated mine that people, you might have a backyard. And there might be diamonds in it. Okay? So you go out there with your buddies and you dig up the soil and you sift for diamonds. And how do you know there's diamonds there? Do you know?
No.
Well, where there's diamonds, there's another type of rock. It actually kind of looks like whatever the hell this is right here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, this is some other shit. But there's something in the ground that when you see it, it's in the layer where diamonds usually are.
It's like a black rock.
Yeah, it's like a black rock, like a shale type deal. So people look for that and they're like, oh, this is here. That means we could find diamonds. And they pack the dirt in one season and then they sift it in another season looking for that stone. And it's a tough life, but if you find it, there is a way, a fair trade way to get paid for it and get that money to change your life and to change your situation. Did
you find any?
I didn't. No, I didn't find any. I wasn't really looking. I just want to know what the hell was going on. If I want to buy a diamond for cheap, I would just buy it from someone who's pawning it. I don't need to fucking dig for it. You know what I'm saying? If you think I need to fucking dig in the middle of Africa for a fucking diamond, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? The cheap way to buy diamonds is through pawn shops and auctions. Somebody who fucking has got a debt or some shit and they need to cash it in, and they're cashing in their stones, and you buy it for pennies on the dollar.
I bet Vegas is great for that with all these gamblers.
Well, yeah, there's pawn shops all over here. You know what I'm saying? And they'll give you, there's some prices for some things that you just can't go wrong.
Hmm.
You know, if someone pulls up in, let's say, a 2019 Mercedes S-Class, okay, what's the price of something like that? Do you know?
Is you talking about the G-Wagon or?
The G-Wagon, let's say.
I paid $160 for 2019.
Okay, $160 for 2019. Okay, so somebody pulls up and they got to let it go for 80. No brainer.
No brainer. Like you said, you operate on 30 to 40% margin.
Yeah, no brainer. They could go and you could buy yourself some diamonds, and that's the way diamonds work. You just take it for a price that is safe and comfortable, and that's how you cash it in. Gold works different. Diamonds work different.
I mean, that's how these kids are blowing up. They're doing these diamond negotiations on video now. I'm sure you've seen those.
Yeah. I mean, of course I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they're doing that, and they're flipping coins, and they're doing whatever, and it's an interesting trend. A shout out to Moses. He's a real not like me. I'm only half. So, my powers are limited. You know what I'm saying? He's deeper in there.
Yeah. You don't film your deals, I notice.
I do.
Oh,
I
do?
I don't do deals. I do business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't buy a certain thing and I don't bargain back and forth. I don't really have that skill. So if I don't have that skill, I don't do it. If I don't know how to dance, I'm not going to dance. If I don't know how to sing, I'm not going to sing.
Negotiation isn't your skill?
It is, but on a serious business deal, okay? For something more important. So we're going to lock in real terms over the course of months and years, all right? And how much I'm going to buy per diamond per month to build my production and shit like that. But if someone comes in for a watch and I don't know how much it costs, or I don't want to memorize the price of every watch, man. I really don't.
That's impressive that people could do that, actually.
Yeah, they do it because they love it. If you don't love it, you can't do it. I don't want to know. I don't care. I don't know about the Patek Philippe 5980 and this one and that one and this dial and this to here and this, that, and this baseball card and that and here. I don't know. I don't do that. I record when someone comes in and they have a parcel of opals. And I'll say, okay, I'll come up with a real business deal. Give me this for that and that for this. And we'll make a deal and I'll make something out of it and I'll promote my website, traxnyc.com or whatever. Everybody does things different. And there's a lot of ways, and some people have some better skills, but sometimes I get angry when people negotiate.
You do?
Because they play with me too much.
You take offense to it? If
you're going to give me a high price, and you're going to try to, because I like to give. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love to give. I love to give gold. I love to give knowledge. I love to give advice. I love to give. I'm a very giving person. And when I see someone's taking advantage of that, I get angry. And then I turn into a different person.
I saw that person on No Jumper.
Yeah. And then I like to focus my mental energy on that individual. And I analyze their weaknesses. And then I haunt them and I break them.
So you like to hold resentment on people you don't like?
I don't know. I like to hold resentment on people that took my kindness for weakness. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. And, I want to be pleasant here with you. I want to be pleasant. I want to be cordial from the moment I walk in to the moment I walk out. Someone gets disrespectful, and that's just me. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of serious, strong people, you know what I'm saying, that have calm and courtesy. And if they see that you overstep that, that's like the biggest insult. That's like some primitive shit. And then I have to turn on a dark and negative side of me, which I want to avoid. But once it comes online, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's a problem because I'm effective. Okay? I'm effective at explaining myself. I'm effective at doing business, and I'm also effective at breaking a person down, right? They might be in one psychological state. They might have a girlfriend. They might have a mother. Well, how did your mother raise you to be a fucking thief or a whore or this or that? Well, why did you this? And I'll find a way to kind of haunt the person in ways that they don't understand. If you see me marketing my business, by giving away gold. You know, a lot of the social media shit in the Diamond District, I pushed it and I started it. And I started people, okay? Because before, for people, you had to kind of be someone else, fill someone else's shoes. And our own talents and our own skills were in the shadows. And, you know, I'm not trying to be one person from another culture or another. I showed my skills and what I learned. And now there's a lot of amazing people that are from the Diamond District that are showing their amazing skills in business, negotiation, communication.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's something that I did, and I was effective, and I'm a leader in communication in a creative, interesting way. So when I'm going to fuck you up, I'm going to come at you in a way that you don't understand or realize, just in the way that I market my business and handle my shit. And I will fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, not got to be everybody. You got to be really, really tough to, you know, put up a serious fight. But if you're just an arrogant person who's got a head full of fucking dreams, I'll haunt you in a way that you can't even understand.
Does that still happen at your level now?
Yeah.
Really?
Again, you know what I'm saying? Like, people get to know me, and I take care of them. I give them a raise. I put them on their feet. You know, then they try to take advantage of them. I say, I don't want to sit here and fight this person. I know they're going to try to fight back because they think I'm soft. Here, take it. Fuck out of here. Then they feel like they have a right. They feel like they won. They pulled it out. It's like a baby. You know what I'm saying? And the baby's pulling something out of your hand, and you're like, here. And they don't understand that you could just throw them out the fucking window at a moment's notice. And that happens to me all the time. That's why I need people who understand me, and they need to be the managers for these idiots. Because some people, I've realized, there's different levels of humanity. There's you know, ones that can meld with your mind and comprehend where you're at and what you're doing. And then there's the type of human being that needs to be set with rules and told what to do. They only want to do what other people are doing. They only want to do what other people are doing. They're wearing that, I want to do it.
Yeah.
They're doing that, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's most people.
Yeah, that's most people. And the lower your self-esteem, the more you are like that. Okay? The less you value yourself and look around, you know, interns would come, like, to my company from France.
France?
Yeah, there used to be like a lot of French interns that would come to my company to learn and shit. And just one came, and then she said in her school that it was a good internship, but a lot of came. So ones would come, and, you know, unless they see you praising one successful, they don't want to compete. They only want, if the, you know, it's like, it could be like a group of 4 or 5 girls or something like that. And unless they see one girl doing something, the other girls don't get motivated. You know what I'm saying? All right, you can have a chick. Some chick was on my phone. You know, I took a picture or whatever. She was looking. I'm driving, and she's swiping through my phone while I'm driving. And until she sees a picture with me with another girl, she don't want to. She's, you know, that inspires her to compete for me more. Why? I'm the same person sitting next to you. Do you really want to see me with another woman? That turns you on more to be with me? It's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy way of thinking. It's a primitive way of thinking. It's a way of thinking I never understood. And that's why I need to keep a buffer between me and people like that.
A lot of girls are like that, though. As soon as you start dating one, more will flock towards you.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way they are. But, you know, if that's how it is, that's how it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. If I see someone I like with another man, I'll give up on it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, listen, desirability obviously works different for men and women, but you can have a really pretty girl and you want her sexually or whatever, but if she's doing OnlyFans, if she's taking off her clothes, you're like, do I really want to, you know, if she had a twin sister and she's wearing, you know, an H&M sweater and this one's, you know, shaking her ass, and some people will take this one, but if you have the option between the two, I'd probably take the more conservative one.
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's more comfortable, whatever. But yeah, people are different and people are wrong and they make a lot of mistakes and then they fuck up their lives and it's too late. Women, when they're young, they have an advantage. They're desirable and they sometimes can overplay their hand. And then by the time they, want to settle down, they have to settle down. Okay? They have to go lower than what they would have got if they were in their 20s, but now they're in their 30s. You know what I'm saying? Because they overplayed their hand.
How's the dating scene in New York right now?
How's the dating? If you're successful and have money, I'm sure it's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? If you're not, it's whatever. Same as it is everywhere, man.
Well, I was just in Miami, so I just found out 1 out of 7 girls in Miami are on OnlyFans now.
I bet they are. I mean, Miami is the worst place if you're a woman. The competition there is crazy. Listen, it's all about where you're at. And, when I would go to Japan, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an advantage.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're the tallest one there.
Yeah.
You got money.
Yeah, exact. Foreign, whatever. They look at you completely different. They fucking think I'm Al Pacino over there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So different places you go, you have a different value. Right? Different places you go, you have a different value. There's some places where, and then you should go to those places to be as valuable as you could be.
Facts.
So that's really what it is. Women go down to Miami where all the other girls are in all bikinis working out all day. And they're all hungry for that feeling. And when time is not on your side and a lot of time has passed, you start to become desperate. Okay. And that can happen to anybody in any circumstance if they made mistakes. And a lot of women are out there, might be in that situation because they're competing against one another like crazy. Someone's got to lose.
Yeah.
What is that noise in the background, man?
There's people talking out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're good though.
Yeah.
No, this has been cool, man. I agree though. Like I grew up in Jersey, I was telling you, and like a 10 in Jersey, they moved to Miami. They're like a 6, 7.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, but they have stars in their eyes. They want to think that they're going to go down there and this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But the universe has got numbers behind it. If you're in a place where the competition is high and it's really good, when it's high competition, but you are the best of the best, it becomes, your game. But if you're in, not the best of the best and you have some flaws or some setbacks or something, you want to be where you're valued more. But that's obvious. But women are not logical thinkers in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
They're emotional thinkers and they're always thinking about the story and shit, and there's sometimes like I say something to, some girls that even like me or whatever, but I might say something that might be true, but with their head just turns it upside down. They cannot recover from it. All right? I'm not even going to say an example, but, whatever. Or, the example, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings out there or whatever. Might be a certain age gap or certain this. Women can't get over words. They can't get over words. They need a story. They need a narrative, as far as I could tell. But that's just what it is.
Well, they're more emotional. I think it's fact at this point. As guys, I think it's just innate nature, man.
Why is it an innate nature for them to be more emotional? What's the evolutionary advantage to have one person?
See, that's a good question.
One person more emotional and another person less emotional working together to create a family.
Yeah, I wonder why God made it that way.
Well, listen, it's nature in essence. And the reason being, I understand it. I mean, there is an answer for that. And the reason being is it's a social creature. Okay? So we're like a tribal group. So a woman will be communicating what she feels with another woman, with this person, with that person, to find out who's who. And they're operating in a different dimension. In a group. A man is going to be like, if you're either going to kill each other or not. Okay? All right? A woman might play a different game. A man is going to dominate in a sense that if we're going to fight for the same territory, it's about who's who, what's what. But human beings are more complicated. Then there's the emotional component. And, she'll talk to your wife and they'll group against some crazy shit,
Yeah. When you were my age, when you were in your 20s, were you putting women to the side to focus on business?
Yes.
That's what you got to do, right?
Yes.
I agree.
I mean, it's your mind has to develop without interference. If you're coming home and you're alone and you're sitting there and you're dwelling on the price of gold, you're dwelling on your staff, you're dwelling on a new commercial, that's one thing. If you're coming home and your chick is there and she wants to watch Netflix and you guys have to order out and you got to do this and you got to do, you're not really going to have the fucking time to think about anything. You're not going to have the time to contemplate a plan. All right? Because she's going to be there and she's going to be doing shit and bothering shit. And she's, interrupting or whatever, arguing or whatever. And then, you didn't come up with a plan. You don't have the money to do this. And now she's this and now she's that. And listen, but at the same time, you don't want to overthink and you don't want to burn yourself out. But sacrifice is your 20s. If you're a man, the more you sacrifice, if you do it in the right way, the more you're going to have in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. As a man, an amazing decade. Listen, I could have been in solitary confinement in my 20s. But if you have a fucking great year when you're 38 years old, it doesn't even matter. If I go and I buy, a Lambo tomorrow and I got a nice crib and I got a fucking beautiful chick here and this one's here, it doesn't matter what the fuck I was doing 10 years ago. I don't care. It's all behind me. And the worse it was, the more I'll enjoy what I have in front of me now.
Yeah.
So it's all bullshit, on that end. If you're in your 20s and you're sitting here and you're planning a fucking thing and you want to go backpacking in Europe and do a bunch of shit, that's on you. Don't cry when you're in your 30s and then you have manhood is facing you and manhood is facing you and you're not up to par.
A lot of people party in their 20s and they sacrifice their youthful energy, man.
Yeah, and listen, that's the way nature goes. Listen, the devil wants what does the devil want, so to speak, this entity of destruction? What does he want?
Wants to distract you.
For what?
Keep you on the wrong path, I guess.
So, what's wrong with the wrong path?
He doesn't want you to succeed, right?
Why not?
He wants to feed off your energy.
He doesn't need to feed on nothing. He wants to destroy the world. Wants the world to be destroyed. To say, see, it was all for nothing. The prophets, what they were talking about, the suffering, the crimes that were gotten away with or not gotten away with, and every good deed and bad deed all went into the dust the same. Bullshit all along. That's what he wants. How does he do it? He's got to get you to waste your fucking time and energy. Distract young people. If young people, you're talking about, right? Here's an example. If they didn't go in Iraq and Afghanistan and spend $2 trillion in those years, 2004, 5, 6, 7, and they took that $2 trillion and they invested it in all the school kids of America and giving them, programming classes or giving them some sort of extracurricular activities where they could have fun, meet people and this and that, this society would last for 1,000 years just off of one point of history. But no, the towers got hit. Building 7 went down some way, somehow. The Pentagon got hit. Somebody was supposedly able to take a airplane and fly it at, I understand you're hitting a tower.
Yeah.
You're hitting a 6-story building. You got to take it's your first time flying a jumbo jetliner and you got to sit here and fly it at the rooftop level of apartment buildings. Anyway, doesn't make sense to me. Never didn't see an airplane, didn't see that. That all happens, and you do that and redirect the energy of a nation to go kill 500,000 people all over the world. Well, that's why we have the society we have today, hanging on by a snot string. So that's what the devil wants. The devil wants for it to be destroyed, all for nothing. That's all. And you have to fight the devil in your life. And everybody has to fight the devil in their life. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants you to pop Molly, have a good time, get on prescription drugs as a kid, go on to cocaine, and then wind up 30s with your brain looking like Swiss cheese, unable to operate, and destroying the lives of your friends and your family and the people around you. So it all could end. That's it. Simple. It's one thing goes to eternal life and the other one goes to death. It's destruction and creation. These are the two real forces in the universe, man. You're either living or you're dead. It's as simple as I can fucking tell you, spiritually or physically.
Be aware, guys. Trax, it's been awesome, man. What are you doing next? I know you got a lot going on.
I'm going to hang out with my friends, grab some sushi and shit, take it easy. I'm going to go see some art shit in Naples, Florida, get back to work, get back to making videos, get back to marketing my business. But before we go, man, I got to ask, I got a friend, Goou.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Goub.
Yeah,
He's got you pinned on his page. And you just tell your side of the story or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was telling me, you're charging $5,000 or some shit, for an appearance on your social hour or whatever, and your numbers are cooked or whatever.
Yeah, I'll share my side. I've never done it, actually. So yeah, he made that video a year ago. It's been quite some time, but yeah, I do charge an appearance fee. I think he thinks I keep all the money. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole video, but basically he was mad I was charging people to come on and making a lot of money.
Right.
I'll be honest, the business isn't profitable this year. I don't make a lot of money. I reinvest almost everything back into the business.
Yeah.
I have a lot of staff, editors, clippers. I pay them $40,000 a month.
Wow.
I could post that.
Why do you have to spend so much per month?
Well, you pay per million views.
Right.
So let's say I have, in my Discord server, we have 800 people. They're all clippers. They're all teenagers, young kids.
Yeah.
And I pay them $400 for every million views.
Okay. Why don't you lower it to 200?
I probably could. Now that
should.
There's a lot of them. But
all right. Newsflash, Discord. Going down to 200.
But yeah, I'm paying for 50 million views a month. So that's 20K there. And then I have my own internal clippers who I pay another 15K a month. So just a lot of overhead, man.
Well, listen, you know what I'm saying? That's, it is what it is. This is business. It's a complicated business. I appreciate coming on. I think you have great questions.
Thank you.
A great conversation. I came on here because I saw Andrew Tate. I liked the conversation over there. I liked the way it worked. His clips come up all the time, and I give them a listen all the time because they're good. They have some wisdom to them, certainly. And anybody who shares wisdom, and we could all collect it, we'd all be the better for it. That's when the devil loses, and so on and so forth. And my friend Goob has a lot of wisdom. He's a very smart guy too.
Open invite for him to come on, by the way.
All right, Goob, you heard it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bury the hatchet, and shine your light onto the world.
Do it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.